And we are the special occasion where I let it go crazy, the Edgar Allan Poe, if you will. Uh, all right, so back again, another Mythos Tale thing here. So if you've never watched one of the streams on Mythos Tales or you don't know what the game is, quick rundown: it is a story-driven, kind of choose your own adventure mystery game. You'll go to different locations on the map. Those will have a passage in the book that you'll read, try and get clues from it, figure out the next place to go, gather as much information as you can, and then at the end, you have to answer a bunch of questions about what you found out, and then you'll get a score based on how you answer the questions, and if you scored high enough, you win, and if you didn't, you go insane and you lose. That's pretty much how it works. So that is the overview. I've already done the first two in. Let me get that out of the way here. I've already done the first two in this book. There's 8 total, so this is number 3. I'll probably end up playing through all of them, but if you haven't watched the other two and you watch this one and you like it, you can get this game from our website, greyfoxgames.com. We'll ship it straight to you. There's 8 total cases in the box that you can get. So. I have everything already set up. I've got all the newspapers that I need here. We have an extra newspaper. I've already set the time. We're going to need the cards on this one. And the most important thing in this game, pen and paper. You have to take notes, and if you're bad at taking notes, then you will not do well. And if you've watched my previous streams, you'll find out that I am not good at that. So let's get to it, and let's make sure that this is all working correctly here. I think it is. Okay. Sorry, just wanted to make sure everything's good. We're all good. All right, so let's get into mission number 3 in Mythos Tales. And this one is called The King Cometh, and it takes place in Arkham, Massachusetts, of course, August 19th, 1929. Here's the preface to that. So it does say that this one is lengthy. So my time is... it's as long as you can get in this game. Tor, hello, welcome back for another mission. Yeah, so this one's going to be evening on day 7. So this is going to be the longest one I have faced so far, and that's good because I like to kind of chase the rabbits down the rabbit hole, if you know what I'm saying. So the more time I have to do that, the better it'll be. All right, so here's a quick preface from Armitage. Armitage speculates we will be required to visit quite a number of places and talk to a number of people. How many, I am unsure. Therefore, I will allow you the full 7 days, although it is highly unlikely that you or I need to visit 21 locations, so you should try to finish up by day 7 evening. Best of luck. He says unlikely, but he has more faith in me than I have in myself when it comes to these investigations. So, appreciate that one there, bud. All right. So as I said, The King Cometh, Arkham, Massachusetts, August 19th, 1929, investigation number 3. All right, let's do this. The weather brings incessant rain, the pleasant sunshine of weeks ago a distant memory. The gutters of old Arkham choke on the town's detritus washed from French Hill and gurgling towards the Miskatonic. You are again called upon by your mentor, Professor Henry Armitage. His summons is terse. Yes, his summons is terse. A simple come at once. Given your last involvement with the old university librarian, you do not hang about. Armitage's office is lit by several green glass shaded lamps, and a fire burns low in the grate. Judging by the ash, it has been burning for the better part of the night. Armitage turns from the window. You came quickly. I thought you might. I have spent the night working on what I saw yesterday evening. At last, thanks to Al-Hazred, I think it may have a handle on it. He gestures absentmindedly toward a heavy tome resting on a nearby lectern. Tome being a book, if you didn't pick up on that. He rises in his chair and leans to water his flowers. Last night I attended the theater to watch The King Cometh. However, what I had hoped would be a pleasant distraction turned out to be anything but. You've seen today's newspaper, I take it? The unusual rash of deaths is not, as our friends at the Advertiser would have us believe, unconnected. They were all there last night at the play. The poor victims, God rest their souls. He shakes his head as if trying to clear cobwebs. A fugue clings to my mind. I have yet to understand everything fully. But the Al-Hazred confirmed my suspicions that the play was a veil covering a sinister rite. He pauses to collect his thoughts. The actors weaved a ritual into their performance. During the third act, the walls of our reality weakened. A ritual was conducted before our eyes on stage. Then a message came through from beyond Aldebaran. Most of the audience, myself included, were entranced by the act. It was all beyond our control. But those of the audience seated in the front row, I believe they caught the full force of an evil message. What was the message? I am not sure as yet. The deaths reported in the paper are no coincidence. Of that I have no doubt. Garrison is out of action at present, laid low by a malady of the stomach, and the rest of the police are unfortunately short-sighted, though they do have information. Our enemies have heard start on us. Our enemies have a head start on us, but they cannot be allowed to finish whatever it is that they started. It is down to us. Find out what happened at the theater and the contents of that message, then meet up with me once you have all the pieces. So, alright. So let's see if there's any information from here that we can get. Al has read is someone or something that he mentioned. He said that the police commissioner is out of commission, so he's not going to be able to help us. And he said that the police are not going to be that useful, but they do have some information. Let me see here. What else? So, went to go see the play. There's actually not a whole lot here. All I have is Al has read, as far as I can see. So let's go ahead and let's go over the newspaper here and see what it says. So, here, let's see. So let's look at the headlines. 2 dead in Berlin following clash with... That's international. Wall Street. Another creature sighting off Innsmouth coast. Misfortune strikes at the zoo. Paris for All Day Saint. Wanted. Murder trial. To the editor. Alright. Well, let's take a look here. Another creature sighting off Innsmouth coast. Let's see what that has to say. Innsmouth police are investigating another report of a creature sightings along the city's coast. This is the 4th report in the last 2 weeks. Witnesses all claim to have seen a merman, a creature with human-like stature but fish-like features. The most recent report also included a strange sound emanating from deep beneath the water. One family interviewed claimed to be so frightened that they are calling off their vacation. Experts are unsure of the nature of these sightings, but theories range from mass hysteria to foreign yet undiscovered creatures. Dr. Dyer of the Miskatonic University Biology Department has his own theory. It is not at all unusual for people to mistake common sea creatures as new species. For instance, for years, sailors reported dolphins as mermaids. Most likely, people are seeing a migrating pod of dolphins or whales and mistaking them for more fantastical creatures. Well, I'm going to guess that there's more at play to that, but I don't know if that's relevant for what we're doing here. Trying to just gaze over this real fast and see. This one might be interesting. Misfortune strikes Nordwell Zoo. Police suspect foul play last night at Nordwell's traveling zoo, where the entire snake collection was killed. The snake carcasses were found in a single pile inside the reptile house, yet no other animals were harmed. The zoo has been the highlight of activities this past month and was planning on moving to Innsmouth before this tragedy occurred. Miss Nordwell, zoo proprietor, is not sure the zoo will return to Arkham. She believes someone broke inside the reptile house with the sole intention of harming the snakes, calling it a strange act indeed for a rather strange town. The police have named no suspects and did not respond to advertisers' request for comment. So I think that's relevant, actually. So I don't know if this is someone that we could follow, but it's good to know. So, like, I think the relevance of coming in and hurting the snakes only. So I think if we go and we find more information about snakes as we go through this, that may be something to reference. As for the rest of the stuff on the page, I don't think that it's that much. Now, the problem with this is we don't have a whole lot to go on here. So what I'm going to start is I'm going to see if I can find the theater where the play happened, and I want to go inspect the theater because I don't really have anything else. So where would that be? No, not transportation, stores, schools, clubs, restaurants, private companies, maybe? Nope. Residential, private, newspapers, medical, hotels, local lifestyle. Maybe I'm looking for a playhouse, I think. Local culture. Aha, Amherst Theater, D25. All right. Is there anything else here that I may need? No. Okay, so we have the theater that we can go investigate. I also have, I guess I could go talk to Armitage, and I could see if maybe talking with him could give me some more insight and some more leads, because the only thing that I have from that first passage is Al has read, and then also that he went to the theater, so I know the theater is. Other than that, I've got nothing. He mentioned the police do have information, but it won't be a lot of information because the police commissioner is currently sick and out. So that's not going to be able to help us, I don't think. So yeah, so I guess let's start there. So we have the theater, and we have Armitage, and then we have this has read. I'm going to check to see if that's a person real fast. It's not. So yeah, I've got no idea what the Al has read is, so we'll figure that out later. Okay, so I think the first thing is I'm going to go to the theater, and I'm going to see if maybe we can come up with something there. So that's going to be D25. It's going to be our first one there. So D25. Wait a second. Is it did I get the right one here? Theater. D6, hold on. I attended the theater to watch... Yeah, you said the theater, so that's D25. Where is D25 up here? D20, so there's D24. D25 should be somewhere over here. 23, 24. $25. Huh. Yeah, so about that. D25 doesn't exist in this passage, which means that I went to a lead that does, that's not there. So whenever that happens, I still lose my time slot, but that does not count towards my score at the end. So, wow, we just whiffed immediately. Jeez, that's not good. Okay. So, the theater does not do anything. Alright. So, let's consult here. Alright, I'm just going to go talk to him, and we're going to see how this goes. So C23A. Armitage is not in his office, as perhaps you should have known he would be at home working on this case. So, doesn't count against that, so I guess I'll have to go to his house, which is... inside of his office. Nonetheless, you may visit his office from the library. Oh, I have to go to the library to do it. So C23. So that's actually where we're going, not C23A. Okay, there is something here. The Miskatonic Orn Library is cold and dark, and the rain patters against the thick leaded windows. You track down Amelia Sargent helping a small foreign-looking gentleman in fez. Nice to see you again. What has Armitage got you chasing today, I wonder? You explain that you are looking into the deaths connected with the people who attended the theater last night. A ritual connected to a play. It doesn't ring a bell, I'm afraid. If you had more to go on, I might be able to point you at a specific book. If you have requirement card 1, do this thing. So... if the library, if I can get... So, whenever I find card 1... if I can get card 1, then I can go back to the library, and then I can get a book on it. So that's something? Okay. Let's see if there's anyone else we can consult here. Police station said they might have some info. Historical Society? I don't know. Yeah, I guess let's go talk to the police. I mean, he said that there was some information there. So, I mean, like, right now I have actually nothing to go on. So, let's just go to D32 and let's talk to the police and see what they have to say. Okay. Alright, it's actually a good section here. The police station is chaotic today. Officers and detectives rush in and out of the station, and the constant hubbub is distracting. You spot Mickey Toll, Garrison Sergeant, and ask after the inspector. Sorry, Garrison's called in sick today and has missed the busiest day we've had in a long time. I feel sorry for Doc Sutton over at the hospital. 4 autopsies in one morning. So Sutton is the one doing the autopsies. So we're going to need to probably go talk to him. You inquire what the fuss is all about, and you're told that the station is dealing with 4 separate deaths. Someone fell under a train this morning. Then a second man died when he ran in front of a passing car. Then there was a suspected murder over at Arkham Trolley Company last night. And to cap it all off, some rich lady from uptown decided she would take her own life. I have to say we're a little stretched at the moment, so I can only spare you a couple of minutes. What do you need? You take a chance and ask for more details, hoping the sergeant is in a forthcoming mood. Well, over at the train station, a man by the name of Anthony Jackson was writing graffiti on the footbridge over the tracks when he slipped just as the 7:20 a.m. to Aylesbury was coming through. He was killed instantly. Julian Stratton was knocked down and killed near his home in the Merchant District. There seem to be conflicting accounts of what happened. The driver says he just ran out in front of the car from an alley and it was too late to brake. A couple of bystanders reported that he may have been chased as he had a terrified expression on his face and was running at top speed. Constable Withers is at the trolley company, and it seems like an open and shut murder case. Francis Long was beaten, robbed, and then stabbed by a large muscled man with a shaven head and had a fair mustache. The central witness is over there in room B giving a statement, and before you ask, no, you cannot interview him. He pauses to check his notebook. Lastly, Miss Carolyn Merrill decided that all her money couldn't buy her happiness and went for a long swing from her staircase on a short bit of electrical cable. She left a note so that that one seems to solve itself. Unfortunate that her better half didn't make it to the house in time. Before she hung herself, she put on a lot of black eyeliner. I guess she wanted to look creepy. Don't know. Her boyfriend's name? You'll have to check with the officers at the scene, I'm afraid. And should you stumble over any information, make sure you come to us. Okay. So there was actually a fair bit of information we got from that. So Sutton is doing the autopsies. And then we have the names of the victims, which are Julian Stratton, Anthony Jackson, Constable Withers, which is an amazing name, and Carolyn Merrill. So those were the main things that we got out of that. So I think that we should follow the Carolyn Merrill, the lady that hung herself, because it seemed like they had the most to say about that. And I feel like they had a lot of emphasis on and details about what she did. The other ones seem like they might be a little bit harder to follow, but I think if we start that one, we'll probably get. I think we'll get the most information out of that location first. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to the morning here. We're gonna go see Carolyn Merrill. So first, I got to find out where that was. Merrill. That was M.E. C. Merrill, U60. U60. After the Empire would be nice, Michael. Yes, After the Empire would be nice. Unfortunately, I do not have a copy of it because it hasn't been printed yet. So whenever we get some printed copies, or if we get a pre-production copy maybe, then perhaps I could do some After the Empire. We do have some prototype kits. I guess maybe I could use a prototype kit. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk with the other guys about it and see how they feel. But at some point, we will do After the Empire later on. We're going to do After the Empire, Tsukiyomi. We're going to do Tortuga 2199. We're going to do all the games, I promise. So as soon as I can get After the Empire on here, I promise I will. All right, so let's while we have this open, let's go ahead and get the other ones here. So we're graffiti on the footbridge over the tracks. Let me see here. It's home in the Merchant District. So let's look up Stratton and see where he was going, because he was killed near his home. So Jay Stratton, yep, that is, so he was killed near M68. Okay. And Withers was at the train station, or at the trolley company. Oh, Withers is the detective. The name of the victim is Francis Long. I almost got tripped up on that one. All right. So, Francis Long. So, that's at the trolley station. So, let's see where the trolley station is. Trolleys. Where on earth are the trolleys? Transportation. Arkham Trolleys, D24. Alright. And then the last one, so I have Merrill, Stratton, Long, and then this other one here over at the train station. So B&M train station, that's at N38. And that is for Jackson. That is N38. Now the question is, how connected are these, I would say? Because it's possible that these, I mean, I don't think you should say anything is a coincidence, but that doesn't mean that all of them are directly connected in one way or another. But who knows? Okay, so it turns out going to the police actually had way more information than I thought they would. I'm going to still stand by my statement, and I'm going to go check out Merrill's house. Also, where is Dr. Sutton's? He's here somewhere. Sutton. It's here somewhere, I thought. There it is, Vincent Sutton. So that's at St. Mary's. It's at C11. Okay, so Sutton has the bodies. He's doing the autopsies. Merrill, Stratton, Long, Jackson, those are our victims. Merrill was the lady that hung herself. Stratton was the one that jumped in front of a car. Long was the one that was beaten and stabbed at the trolley station, and then Jackson was the one that fell in front of the train. So that is what there. So we're going to start with Miss Merrill. I've already moved that. So that's going to be C23. All right. C20. No, it's not C23. Sorry, it's U60. I'm looking at the wrong thing here. So U60. Aha. I'm gonna make sure that's correct. Yes. All right. So U60. Merrill's house is a rangy 3-story affair in dark brick. An expensive-looking Packard convertible automobile is parked badly up on the sidewalk near the house. 2 police officers greet you at the door, and you invoke Inspector Garrison's name to gain entry to the scene. The older of the 2 shows you inside. Just a peek, mind you, or shouldn't really be doing this at all. The policeman walks you into a hall strongly scented with flowers and points to an electrical cable, the kind you would expect to attach a lamp to a wall outlet. It is knotted around a railing on the main staircase's upper balustrade, and the dangling end has been cut by a sharp implement. The coroner, no doubt, when he removed the body. Not a nice way to go, jumping off the top of the stairs like that. We're pretty sure there was no foul play here, because she left us a clear message. He leads you to the top of the stairs and points to the wall on the landing. A message is daubed in red paint across the patterned wallpaper. It is all too much for me to take. Third, sleeping we turn our blind eyes to the hunter's killer, for their carcosa lies. I'm so sorry. She was an artsy sort. I suppose that accounts for the strange message. The policeman leads you back downstairs into the library, where a young man sits at a table weeping softly. This is Mr. Mark Gasquet, the boyfriend of Miss Merrill. The man looks up, and you take a seat across from him. You explain that you don't wish to upset him further, but if he has anything to add, it may help you investigate Carolyn's death. There isn't much to tell, I'm afraid. She called me up just after 11 p.m. She was hysterical and crying that Carcosa was coming and that it was the end. She said she called to say sorry for leaving me. I drove over here as fast as I could, but I was too late. You offer your condolences to the poor man and silently slip away, thanking the police officers for their help. On your way out, you cannot help but notice a footprint in white flour on the carpet near the door. Oh, okay. Yeah, this dude. Oh, Sean, welcome. Yes, this is a great game. This is, like I said, this is kind of like the a beefier version of the old R.L. Stine, like pick your own adventures, like Goosebumps games where you like choose where you want to go. It's great. This is neat. Good luck, Jared. Thank you, Don. Thank you. All right, this is a neat game. This game is great. I love games like this. This is a really popular one. One of the first ones that came out that helped inspire the genre. They had a Sherlock Holmes theme one that somebody released that was really cool, and then this one came out after. So, yeah, these types of games, love them. I love them. They're great solo games, and you can play them with a group, and it really helps to get everyone's noggins working together. Because as you can clearly see, I am not proficient in following the right clues if you watch the other streams. So, all right. But we have a lot here. So... All right, so because I can't come back and visit this place, I'm going to write down exactly what this says. All right. It is all too much for me to take. Third, sleeping, we turn our blind eyes. To the hunter's killer. For there, Carcosa lies. I'm so sorry. Okay. What else happens here? She called after 11 p.m. or just after 11 p.m. Called just after 11. We'll see if that's relevant later. Hysterical, crying, Carcosa was coming. It was the end. Carcosa coming. And then as we left, let me see. Footprint in white flour. And white flour by the door. Okay. So we got a few things here. R.L. Stine. Yes. R.L. Stine. Excellent one there. Go, Jared. Thanks, Sean. You're the best. All right. So things that we pulled out of this. I guess we could also take his name, Mark Gasquet. I don't know if that matters here. Okay, so we have Mark Gasquet. She called just after 11 p.m., said that Carcosa is coming. So the question is, what is Carcosa? I'm going to imagine that if I look here in this book, it's not going to have a name called Carcosa, but let's just go ahead and eliminate that possibility. And we have. All right. So Carcosa is coming, whatever that is. And then she left this note on the wall, which... a message in red paint across the pattern wallpaper. All right. There was a footprint and white flower by the door, and the note that she left is it's this. It is all too much for me to take. Third, sleeping we turn our blind eyes to hunter's killer for their Carcosa lies. I'm so sorry. I feel like you're missing some punctuation there. So it's interesting to me. So third dash, sleeping we turn our blind eyes to hunter's killer for their Carcosa lies. I'm so sorry. That makes absolutely no sense to me. I'm sure that will make some sort of sense later. Who knows? Okay, so let's just mark that there. I'm going to be taking a ton of notes on this one. Okay. So we went to U60. All right, so there was that. So I think we go investigate the other. So we can investigate one of the other deaths, or we could go talk to Sutton, who's doing the autopsies on the body, and we could see if he has any information on the autopsies. I don't know. I still feel like maybe just investigating all of the deaths and like where they took place is a good place to start. Because outside of what I took down here in the notes, there wasn't really a whole lot else that I got from visiting this place here. Maybe somewhere, so U60, that is right over here. So let's figure that out. So U60 is there, that's where one thing happened. Stratton was M68, so that's going to be up here, right on the river. Long was at D24, which is here. And then Jackson was N38, which is here. So, as far as them being close to each other, I mean, a couple are close to each other, but they're not all, like, relevant space-wise, so... Yeah, let's just go down the list to the next one here. So we went to Merrill, so let's go investigate Stratton. So M68, he says where he lived. It was near there, but yeah, let's just go there. Let's just go to M68 and let's just keep investigating these victims and where they were. All right, M68. The door is opened by an elderly woman who looks as though she has been crying. You inquire after Mr. Stratton, and she tells you that his family is over at their church, the Temple Baptist in East Town. As to the whereabouts of the body, she doesn't know whether it is at the hospital still or has been moved to Mr. Malole's funeral home. You ask the women what happened to Julian. I don't rightly know. Sorry, the woman. Apologies. I don't rightly know. He went to the opening night of the new play over at the Manley. He was supposed to be meeting his friend from the bank there. He came back around 10:30 with a haunted look in his eye. He said he thought that someone was after him. Anyway, he decided he'd be better off going to the police and telling them, and he went off. That was the last we saw of him. He was hit by a car. Okay. So, Temple Baptist. Now, I remember seeing something here about a church. No, it's not the same one. Okay. Temple Baptist. Okay, so this is Stratton. It's an East Town, so that should be an E, but let's find it here. Churches. Temple Baptist Church, E5. So the other relevant thing here, if you didn't pick up on it, is she said that he came back around somewhere between 10 and 10:30 in that area, which is close to the time that that Meryl also went bananas. So, say 10 to 10:30 p.m. At least that's when he left, and then he was hit by a car after he was trying to go to the police. What else came here? So, Theater was at the Manly. Now, that's the thing that I think I messed up on, is it said that they went to the Manly to see the play, and I tried to go to the Amherst Theater. So, I think I just... Yeah, I think I just went to the wrong place. So, we gotta find this Manly. Utilities, warehouses, no. No, it's not there. It's not there. I guess it'd be under local arts and culture, I believe. Local culture, there it is. Manly. Manly Theater, N9. Okay, so I did go to the wrong theater. So N9 is going to be right there. So that's where everything happened here. And then this is where one of the deaths was. This is where one of the deaths was. And then the other deaths were down here. Mole's funeral home. Mole's funeral parlor is at F5. Alright, so F5, so that's where the body might be if it's not at the hospital. Okay, so I think that's all the information there. So that gave us some pretty good stuff to go on. So let's continue to go down and investigate each one of these deaths. Let's go to the scene. So Stratton, we went to Merle, went to Stratton. Now we're going to go Long. So that's going to be D24. So let's go to D24. All right. A single patrolman stands on the pavement outside the Arkham Trolley Company. Several trolleys rattle their way past, the electrical contacts on their roofs fizzing in the rain. The patrolman looks at you suspiciously until you invoke Inspector Garrison's name. "Can you tell me what happened here, officer?" You ask, and he shakes his head grimly. "Messy business last night. Fella by the name of Long was beaten and stabbed here on the street." He points to a faint, dark bloodstain on the sidewalk. "A witness from across the streets there saw it happen. He's down at the station giving a statement now. Anyways, it was midnight, and this fellow Long comes walking past from the direction of his home across Independence Square. He was accosted by a man heavily muscled and with a shaved head and a fair mustache. The witness seems to think he had been following Long. The attacker laid into Long with a double-fisted hammer blow that knocked him onto the floor. They exchanged words, and Long began screaming and begging. After a moment or two, the attacker wrote something down on a theater flyer. Witness was clear about that and pulled an ugly-looking knife. He stabbed Long several times before walking away, calm as anything, clutching that flyer for the king cometh in his hand." Okay. So let's digest this. So this happened at about midnight. So this was Stratton. No, this was Long. Midnight. From the direction of his home across Independence Square. So let's see where Long lived. F Long. So that's D71. And that would be... right there. Okay. So he was walking from here across Independence Square. So he was doing it like this, and then that's where that happened. Okay. Heavily muscled, shaved head, fair mustache. Suspect. Heavily muscled, shaved head, fair mustache. Okay. Wrote something on a theater flyer. Killed with a quote-unquote ugly-looking knife. I mean, to be fair, beauty is subjective, so I don't know what that has to do with anything, but what do I know? All right. All right, so that's all that I got from that. All right, so that was Long, and so the last one we have is Jackson. So let's do it like this. I'm going to need a lot of paper here. So Jackson was at N38. So let's go there. N38. Aha, there we go. All right. The main station and platforms at the train station are sheltered by high glass ceilings, and you are glad to be out of the rain. There are a few travelers waiting for their connections, but the early morning rush has long since subsided. You notice that every so often people further down platform 2 point up at the footbridge and engage in heated conversation before moving onward. As you get closer to the footbridge that spans the tracks, you can clearly see daubed across the bridge in 6 feet high yellow lettering the phrase, "Fourth, turn to you, O Hastur. We raise our hands and voices in prayers for an answer." Ooh, okay, now it's heating up. You ask a uniformed employee carrying a bucket of whitewash and a ladder about the graffiti. You should have seen it this morning. What a mess. Some idiot wearing a hood decides he's going to paint a crazy message across my bridge. He just clambered over, held on with one hand, and started sloshing paint around. When the boys from the office tried to get him down, he threatened he'd jump and kill himself. So we are starting to get a little worried. The 7:20 Owlsbury commuter is coming down the line and fast. He finishes the writing, and Ernie yells at him to get down again. Then he looks Ernie dead in the eye and shouts something about how it's all too much to know and Carcosa is coming. He must have lost his footing on the wet struts as suddenly he tumbled right underneath the wheels of the locomotive, and that was the end of that. Right mess to clean up, and the police have been under our feet all morning. Ernie swears the man jumped when he saw this big guy covered in flour looking at him, but I don't know about that. You thank him and head back to the street. Ooh. Ooh, okay, this is big. So the message here is a big thing here because it says fourth, and the message left by Merrill says third. So there is a sequence to this, and it is in fact not random. Okay, so Jackson's. So 4th turn to you. Oh, Haster. We raise our hands and voices in prayers for an answer. And voices in prayers for an answer. And he also mentioned Carcosa. And let's see here. So 7:20 Aylesbury. So this was in the morning, 7:20 a.m. Okay, so 7:20 a.m. And then he also says, man jumped when he saw this big guy covered in flour looking at him. Big guy covered in flour. And then also Carcosa. Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to need some more paper here. Okay, so let's see what else. Is there anything else we can get out of this? Okay, so we have a lot of information now. So let's take a look at our handy dandy notepad and see what we can do here. All right, so here is everything that we have gathered so far, and this is from inspecting where the victims died. So let me just go ahead and mark that off. So Stratton was 10 to 10:30, somewhere between 10 and 10:30 p.m. Long was at midnight. Merrill was at just after 11, and then Jackson was 7:20 a.m. So there is a sequence, but the notes here for 3rd and 4th, but so Merrill said 3rd and Jackson said 4th. So if it's a sequence, that means that I think Stratton was 1st. And then, so I think if the sequence is correct, it's Stratton, Long, Merrill, Jackson. But Long, they wrote something on a flyer for the play that was clutched in his hand. And the family of Stratton's at the Baptist. So I think because he had something in his hand, I think now we go talk to Sutton at the hospital, and I see if maybe when they brought the body in, hopefully that piece of paper was there, and he can give us more information on that. So we are on to the morning of day 3. And we are going to talk to Sutton. So that's going to be C11. All right. C11. Ooh. And this is a long one. All right. You find an amiable Dr. Sutton in his office completing paperwork. He peers over thick horn-rimmed glasses. Oh, hello again. Has Armitage sent you on another errand? You explain that you were looking into the deaths that occurred last night. Certainly. Shall we go downstairs? Follow me then. You follow the doctor through the hospital corridors, descending to the basement level and into the morgue. A dozen or so low tables stand in the white-tiled room in neat rows. 3 of the tables are covered with the crisp sheets, masking the forms of the cadavers beneath. Right then, we'll handle the simplest one first. He walks across the room and picks up the clipboard resting on the abdomen of one of the cadavers. This is a young society girl named Carolyn Merrill. She was found dead by her boyfriend around 11:30 p.m. last night. She called him in a state of distress at 11:10 p.m., and he rushed her home. He rushed to her home, one of those big houses on Washington Park in Uptown. He found her hanged by the neck and electrical flex tied around the balustrade at the top of the main staircase. I'm sorry to say she didn't make a very neat job of it either, and likely died in considerable pain. I've no reason to doubt this was anything but suicide. She has no other injuries, defensive wounds, or even scratches suggesting she had second thoughts. I believe she left a note as well, painted on the wall in her home. He moves to pick up another clipboard. This one is a murder. Francis Long killed on the street outside the Arkham Trolley Company. Again, this was around midnight, judging by the onset of rigor. He was struck a heavy blow to the head and stabbed 4 times in the abdomen. His clothes had traces of flour on them. Take requirement card 4. Beautiful. All right, so we have requirement card number 4. So we'll actually just leave that there. Okay, so flour, common denominator. We're looking for a baker. Maybe it's Ratatouille. Dr. Sutton reaches under the sheet and pulls out the man's pale right forearm and hand. See here? You're not squeamish, I hope. These 2 fingernails were pulled out before he was killed. The mob uses this technique to extract information from their enemies. Perhaps this man wouldn't immediately give up whatever his attacker was after? That is an educated guess, mind you, and I made sure that information didn't go to the press. He rummages through a box under the table and pulls out a newish-looking leather wallet. His address is listed here as Federal Street. He wasn't all that far from home when he was attacked, poor fellow. He points at the other sheet. There were 2 more arrivals a short while ago, but I'm just left with 1 now. I have put both of them down to accidental death, so I'm not sure they will interest you. Julian Stratton, a bonds trader, was run down and killed by an automobile. His body has already been picked up by the Malloy's funeral parlor, a simple hit and run. The most recent, Anthony Jackson, slipped and fell under the wheels of a passing train in the train station first thing this morning. The poor guy took a battering from the locomotive. That's 1 sheet I don't recommend you look under. Dr. Sutton escorts you out of the hospital. I must say, I half suspected you were here about the nocturne that seems to have flooded onto our streets. If you're interested in that, I can recommend a specialist, Dr. Almarin Oren. He runs a general practice over on West High Street. He bids you farewell, and you thank the doctor for his assistance. Take requirement card 7. So we have 4, and we have 7. Okay, so that's something. All right, lots to digest here. So let's check this out. Okay. Everything you said about Carolyn Merrill was fine. So just after 11. So he confirmed that it was 11:10 p.m. So we'll write that down. But everything else we already gathered from going there. So it was around midnight, onset of rigor. His clothes had traces of flour on them. So that was one that... Yes, now... Traces of flour. So there is a common denominator here in that there was flour found at... Flour involved with Merrill. There's now flour involved with Long, and there's flour involved with Jackson. So now, if we go to If we follow the leads on Stratton, if we can confirm that there was Flower involved in some way with him, then we have a common denominator that we're likely looking for one suspect that has gone around and done all of these things in a particular order. Well, this game's not just about the how, it's about the why. So we got to figure that out. So let's see what else we have here. So for Long, he also had his nails pulled out. So nails pulled out. Possible mob connection. 10-4. Said he lived on Federal Street, which we knew because it's over here, which was at, I believe we put down, yep, D71. Okay. So that is there. Anything else here? So Nocturne, Almarin, Orin. He runs a practice over on West High Street. Okay, so let's check this out. So West High Street. Let's go to the, let's see if we can find here. No, we're looking for medical facilities. So West High Street would be... maybe West High Line, somewhere in this N area. So we're looking for N. No, not quite. What's his name? Oren. No, it's not there. Alright, so where is West High Street? Aha. Oh, it's down here in the U's. I see. You see, you guys? Alright, so U... Let's look for anything down in the U. So we have U5 and U7. We have Horton Wilson, MD, and Morton Hartwell, MD. So we have two possible ones. We have U5, U7, and this is linked to Nocturne. Yeah. See exactly what this says. He runs a general practice over on West High Street. So West High Street should be one of these. U5 is the closest one, but that would be on West Dalton Street. So West High Street. Let's see if I can just find it by name. Oren. Last name Oren. Which is at U24. So that is actually what we're looking for here. U24. Alright, so that is... Alright, so we got some good stuff here. We got some good stuff. Alright, let's move this over here. Alright, we're on morning of day 3 right now. Okay, so... we have a lot of information, and we have a lot of leads that we can follow here, which is really, really good. But, as you can probably tell from this game, it's not a matter of just having leads, it's trying to figure out what the most valuable leads are because we are on a timer. Now, like I said, we do have the longest amount of time in this scenario compared to the other scenarios I've played so far. Like, this is the max amount of time that we'll ever get. So I guess there is some leeway to chase some leads. But I'm guessing that the questions for this one are going to be quite difficult and very specific because I have so much time to investigate. So that's going to be a little tough. Just real quick, I just need to go and grab my water real fast because I'm talking a whole lot. It's quite difficult. So I need to go grab my water really quickly. I'll be right back in just a second. Please don't go anywhere. And just like that, I'm back. All right, we got what we needed. We're good to go. Okay, so let's figure out what we think. Well, I'm going to go over this real fast here. Yeah, all right, so that's all the information that we can get out of the doctor. So now we're on to the point where we need to figure out where to go from here. So because I'm trying to find the common denominator of the flower between all the victims, the only person that we haven't confirmed it with is Stratton. So the funeral parlor has the body. He, and then we wrote down Manly at N9. And then Temple Baptist, which is where his family is. So probably talk to either the family or go to the funeral parlor. I'm going to guess the funeral parlor is probably a better lead to follow here. So I say let's go to the funeral parlor. Let's do that. So the funeral parlor, that's going to be at F5. There we go. I think we found a good one. All right. The lanes and alleys to reach the small funeral parlor seem to get steeper and steeper as you climb French Hill. Shaking off your umbrella, you enter the reception area of the Maloles establishment to be met by the bald Mr. Paolo Maloles himself. His expensive dark suit tells you that his funeral business is as ever strong. You explain that you have to come to pay your respects, and the funeral director shows you through to a viewing room where the body of Julian Stratton has been laid out in preparation for his funeral at the Temple Baptist Church. You're left for a moment's quiet reflection. Peering closer, you accidentally bump the table, and a wad of paper drops from one of Julian's trouser pockets. Unfurling it curiously, you discover a strange phrase scribbled in pencil on the back of a receipt for stationery. Ooh, 6th. Return Haster, heed us. Your star steeds, Lord, the black night sky, return Haster, save us. Oh, okay. As you put the paper back where it belongs, you cannot help but notice a white powder on the trouser pocket, which you determine to be flour. We've done it, folks. If you have requirement card 3... Oh, no, I don't have requirement card 3. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So funeral parlor. Card 3. Okay, I need a whole separate paper for these. So let's do this in order. So this is 3rd. So 3rd, sleeping. We turn our blind eyes to Hunter's Killer. Fall there lies Carcosa. Or Carcosa lies. I really need to find this requirement card so I can go back to the library and get that book. So that's 3rd. And then we had another one here for 4th. Turn. Oh man, I should really write stuff better. Turn to you, I think. Oh, Haster, I think it says. Yeah. So we know Haster is an elder god. And so it looks like that may be what they were trying to summon. We raise our hands and voices in prayer. Prayers for an answer. Oh, man. And then we just got the note for 6th, which is Return Haster. Heed us. Definitely seems like a passage, like a scripture almost. Your star steeds. Lord, the black night sky. Return Haster, save us. Okay, so these are the notes that we've gotten so far, which seems like it's the passage from a book, which may be helpful if I can find that book at the library, but I need the requirements that I don't have. And we have confirmed flower. Okay. Okay, so that was good. So we've done that. So we have information. So the question is, where do we go now with the information that we have? So let's go over what we can do. So we can still go see Stratton's family at Temple Baptist, and also this other character by the name of Manley at N9, which I didn't take good enough notes, so I don't remember what that was, so that's my fault. So we have Temple Baptist, Manley, we have Long's home at D71. And then we also have this Nocturne thing going on with Dr. Almarin at High Street. Now, the other thing is, for some reason, they did mention that Maloles was bald. So maybe that is relevant? I don't know. Our perpetrator is bald, muscular, and has a mustache, so could just be a coincidence, fellow cue ball, but we'll see. Okay. So there is an order to this, as far because it's, and it looks like it's a passage. And Stratton is the one that was hit by a car. Now, one of our helpful people might not be bad to talk to. They're talking about Haster. If we were able to, if we go and talk to, let me see here. Where is it? Where is it? Lyman. He's the one that's with the Oral of the the Order of the Twilight, at L18. He's been helpful the last 2 times. I mean, we are dealing with Haster, which we know is one of the Elder Gods, I believe, and maybe the Order would have some sort of insight as to all of this. And so we have Lyman, we have Stratton's family at Temple Baptist, we have someone named Manley that was involved with Stratton, we have Long's home at D71, and then we also have and then we have Oren, who is on U24 on High Street, who runs the practice, talking about this whole Nocturne thing. So I'm curious, because Nocturne, like, I wonder if this is one of those, like, false leads, because they're like, oh, I'm surprised you haven't been talking about this whole Nocturne thing, blah, 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 like, I'm not sure. So we're on afternoon here, so we have still got 4, 7, 10, 11, 12. So I've still got 13 time slots I can go to. I think I can afford, yeah. Let's go talk to Oren. Let's go to U24, and let's see if this Nocturne has any leads that we can keep following. U24. U24. There we are. Dr. Oren caters to the more exclusive clientele of Uptown, judging by the size of his office and the discreet quality that it exudes. You wait for a short time before catching the good doctor between patients. You tell him you have heard that he is something of an expert on Nocturne. Well, I wouldn't know about expert, but I have been studying its effects, he says. The compound is like nothing I have ever seen before. The effects are euphoric and give way to a very deep slumber, the length of which is dependent on the amount taken. Users often talk of the fantastical dreams they have. I managed to track down a name connected with the drug, the Randolphsons. They are a gang operating downriver of Arkham out of Kingsport Head. Bad bunch. You don't want to get yourself mixed up with that sort. Take requirement card 7, which I have there already. Okay, so let's turn this over. Alright, so Nocturne. So the links. So that is Randolphsons. And they are operating downriver of Arkham out of Kingsport Head. Now, the only reason the gang is relevant, I think, here is because of the specific detail about the nails being pulled out and that being linked to a to something that the mob does. I think the fact that they're bringing up a gang too, so like maybe there's a connection between this Nocturne and what's happening with the Randolphsons. in addition to what happened specifically to Mr. Long. So let's find Kingsport Head. Which I don't know if it's even on the map here. It says it's downriver. Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing here. Let's check it out here. Kingsport. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything here, so I guess it's a location that's not actually on the map, because it says it's downriver. Alright, let me make sure there's nothing else that I think I need out of here. So I think the most important thing that came out of that was the effects of what Nocturne does. I think that we'll find some more information on how that's useful, whereas I don't know if the Randall sins are quite as... I mean, it might be relevant, so that's why I wrote it down. Okay. So Nocturne effects are... euphoric, give way to deep slumber. And the people that use it, fantastical dreams. All right. So there's that. Okay, so we did that. I don't know if we really got anything out of that one. Nothing else we can really follow here. I'm going to go talk to Lyman and see if the Order of the Silver Twilight has the information on Hastur he can share with me. So that's going to be L18. Let's go see what he has to say. You bump into the immaculately dressed Sebastian Lyman hurrying down the street from his house. He recognizes you instantly. Don't stop, walk behind me a pace or two and we can talk. You follow the bobbing umbrella closely and ask Lyman if he knows what went on at the theater. Nothing that the Silver Twilight are into, I'm sure of that, he remarks. They are into something, though. I managed to follow Carl Stanford himself to a meeting with that Kingsporter gangster Randallson down at his warehouse. The big one, shipping and exports on the south side of the river opposite Unvisited Isle. Okay, that just opened up something for us. Good Lord Almighty. All right. So, Randallson. Randallson is linked to Stanford. They're linked to... Stanford is the head of the Twilight Lodge. Big one, shipping and exports, south side of the river, across from the Uninvited Isle. So, Uninvited Isle is right here at M9, so let's find a warehouse that's across from that. I think it's going to be M10, but let's find out. The docks is M10. Let's see, so M10, that's the docks. M39 is an easterly warehouses, which is not anywhere from here. D42, and then M40. On the south side of the river, opposite the... So that has to be the docks. That has to be M10. Okay, so... Okay, so that was pretty big, I think. I think that was a large step in the right direction. So now, I think if we go to the docks and investigate... So, the Twilight Lodge isn't directly involved with whatever's going on. However, the leader of the Twilight Lodge is involved with the Randallsons, and Randallson is involved with Nocturne. And I don't know why this is important yet, but we're going to get there. So, on morning of day 4, we are going to go to M10. And we're going to go investigate the docks. M10. The wood-built warehouse is closed up and quiet. You head down an alley and find an unlatched window which allows you access to the building. The interior is dark and contains a maze of crates and boxes. Your careful search reveals that this building does indeed belong to the Randallson Shipping Company out of Kingsport. They have been careful to conceal any evidence of wrongdoing. In a desk drawer, however, you discover a bill of sale for 400 vials of something identified as N, which happens to be the starting letter of Nocturne. The account was settled in cash by one Carl Stanford, the Order of Silver Twilight. Not exactly smoking good you're hoping for, but it's a start. Alright, well that was kind of a whiff. So, Carl Stanford, I think, bought Nocturne, bought 400 vials. Alright, 400 vials of N. So, let's go to Mr. Stanford's house. Oh, Carl Stanford, where are you? Maybe we can grill this guy. Does it say over here? Oh, Carl Sanford, not Stanford. Duh. Sanford. There it is, U56. Alright. Let's go grill this guy. U56. You're not buying drugs on my watch, mister, I'll tell you that much. U56. Alright, that is what I wrote down here. Yeah, U56. Oh, no. Don't tell me. Hold on. So, hold on. Where's the Silver Twilight Lodge? That's L18. I wrote down the wrong thing. Don't mind me fixing my mistake. L18. Let's see what it has to say. There we go. Oh, wait, no, that was the one that I already went to. No? Okay. Crap. So, U56 was correct. I whiffed. I lose a time slot, but it doesn't count against me, so... Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Okay. Alright, well... I've whiffed twice, so that's not good. Oh, that's so frustrating. Okay, so let's backtrack here a little bit. There's something I want to investigate here. looking for something specific. Just gonna make a personal note here. Okay. All right. So let's go somewhere else here. So the only leads that we have is we have Long's house at D71. We still have Stratton. We have the Temple Baptist, where his family is, and then we have Manly, which is what somebody that was associated with him. So, I guess those are really our only leads here right now. So let's go to... Let's go see this Manly fella. Let's go to N9 and see what he has to say. Oh, Manly's the theater where it happened. Duh. I'm so stupid. This is why you need to take better notes, folks. All right. Arkham's Manly Theater is one of the premium attractions in terms of the nightlife. A young woman with a ledger and pen in hand approaches you. Are you here for the auditions? And you hastily tell her that no, you are looking into the play from the previous night. The theater manager, Lucinda Thayer, has canceled its run because of the dismal showing, the woman says. You saw the review that Chuckley gave us in the Advertiser? He was the final straw, and we're breaking the set now and putting on a small production of The Sleeping Beauty to fill the gap. You ask if the manager is available, but you are told that today is her day off. I knew there was something amiss with the whole show last night. No wonder the actors were so cheap. I'm sure they had some sort of swindle going with Samuel Airville, the tickets clerk. He and his other half were looking mighty suspicious last night, and I even saw him talking furtively to the lead actor, the big man with the shaven head. He's not shown up for work today either. Oh, man. As a parting inquiry, you ask where the actors are staying, and she tells you they can be found over at the Harding house where the staff from the theater helped deliver their trunks. Though they are probably out drinking somewhere, they were asking where they could find booze. Is that the end of the passage? That is. Okay. Okay, information. Information's good. Alright, so that was the theater. So, Manly Theater. So, Lucinda Thayer. That's going to be that. Samuel Averill. That's what I was looking for. That was the ticket clerk. Ticket clerk. And then that was the manager. And then they went to Harding House. Lead actor. Big man with a shaven head. Okay, alright. Big man with a shaven head. Alright, so they did give us some information here. So, Harding House. All right, so let's get these here. Let's start with Averill, because he's going to be first here in the book. Samuel Averill is going to be at D51. Lucinda Thayer is going to be at F31. And then Harding House is going to be at... Where would I find it? Oh, come on. Boarding houses. There it is, Harding House. N15. Okay. Some new leads. We can talk to the theater manager, we can talk to the ticket guy who's being suspicious, and we can go to the Harding House and talk to the cast directly. Let's go talk to Mr. Averill, who didn't show up for work today, and apparently was conversing with this large, bald man, who I'm assuming is made of flour at this point. Alright. So that's going to take us to D51. So let me make sure this is right. 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So this is actually here on the morning of day 5. Okay. Yep, so D51. All right. The door to the small house is opened cautiously by a thin, bird-like man with a long nose. He peers over wired frame glasses, an ugly purple bruise closing his left eye. Can I help you? You explain that you've come from the theater and that you were investigating the disturbance last night. The man's bottom lip trembles and he falls almost immediately without any pressing whatsoever. They made me give it to them. I didn't want to. He snivels and you feel immediately sorry for him. You reassure him and ask him what he means. The list. Those actors from last night's play were desperate to catch up with those who attended the theater, the front row in particular. I tried to explain to them that I couldn't possibly reveal the list of our patrons, but they beat me and forced me to give it to them. Hendrik will tell you, he was there with me. We had arranged to meet for a nightcap after the show. That thug with the bald head hit me and forced me to write the list down for him. Then I read this morning that Mr. Long and Miss Merrill died last night, just after I had given the list of names. He turns to a side table and hastily begins writing. Here, take the list. See if you can't warn the others before the same happens to them. Performance of the King Cometh Patrons List, front row, A through J. Francis Long, Edward Frisk, Abby Osgood, Carolyn Merrill, Anthony Jackson, Rich Stratton. Okay. Interesting. Okay, this is large. Okay, so front row. So let's see here. So Francis Long, Edward Frisk, or Fisk, Abby Osgood, Carolyn Merrill, which we know Merrill and Long are dead. Anthony Jackson, he is another person that died. Carlton Rich. Lauren Reed. Penelope Larry. David Danforth. And then Julian Stratton. All right, who is also the other one dead? So, out of everyone on this list that was in the front. So we know that the 4 people that died were in the front row, in fact. And then the other people that were in the front row, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other people. And he also mentioned somebody named Henrik. Okay. So I think that's everything that we have for there. So let's find out where these people are. So, Fisk. He's at N65. Osgood. F65. Carlton Rich. U61. Lauren Reed. It's going to be N62. And then Penelope Larry. N51. And then David Donforth. Where is this gentleman? Here. He is... was it Danforth, maybe? It was. U27. Okay. So that's the list. Wow, that's a lot of leads. Good lord. Okay. 2, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 more places I can go to. If I followed all of the ones on this list, that's 6. So we're going to have to start trying to figure out where we're moving forward. So I have these 2 requirement cards. I haven't found how to use them. I know that if I can get requirement card 3, I can go to the funeral home and I'll have something there. If I have requirement card 1, I can go back to the library and find a book. So that was Avril. So I think now we go to the Harding house and maybe we try and see if we can find this actual like group of people, I think. So let's do that. So let's go to N15 to the Harding house. All right. The Harding House offers moderately priced board and breakfast, but the sign outside declares it has no vacancies. As you push aside, William Harding begins to tell you he is full. You stop Mr. Harding and tell him you are looking for the actors from the Manly Theater's production of The King Cometh. His face immediately darkens. Not the sort of people we'll be inviting back anytime soon. They just need to clear out their things, and then I'll be glad to see the backs of them. They've not come back yet, still drinking at the speakeasy, my guess. You ask if you can see their rooms. He agrees, showing you upstairs and unlocking the doors. The 3 small rooms are in a terrible mess. Food lies half-eaten, empty wine bottles roll on their sides, and clothes and costumes are strewn hither and thither. There are 3 of them staying here, dirty devils. Their boss was staying somewhere else in town with one of his friends. You ask which of the men was the one with the shaved head, and Harding confirms that this is Fincher, the boss. Always got a dusting of flour all over his clothes, probably from his day job. Oh, buddy. All right. So Fincher is the leader, day job with Flower. Okay. Relevant information. Very relevant information. Okay. And then he also mentioned the speakeasy. So I say we go to the speakeasy now, which is, I think, one of the places on here. Yeah, is at N4. I'm just going to keep following this. This just seems like it's giving us good stuff. So let's go to N4 and let's go to the speakeasy. Alright. You rap softly on the door to Arkham's much-frequented speakeasy, and you're admitted by a burly doorman. You head to the bar and you order yourself a drink, asking the barman about the actors from last night's play. He gestures with his bar towel towards a snug where the sound of raucous laughter can be heard. They've been in here since last night and run up a huge bill, that's for sure. There was another man here with them, but he left this morning, telling them to meet him at his lodgings. I don't know where that would be, but I bet the guy works in Tartanowski's bakery. He was covered in flour. He did leave $15 to cover the tab. They've already burned through that, though. Looking closer, you see two men and a woman deeply drunk and laughing in an unsettling fashion. The barman probably would not appreciate the police being called to the bar. It would create some awkward questions for the owners, employees, and the 4 off-duty cops playing poker in the corner. You call a couple of Garrison's reliable officers whom you can rely on for discretion and meet them a few minutes later. They agree that they will lie in wait for the villains to emerge and arrest them in the street. They grin and wave goodbye as you continue your investigation. Take requirement card 4. Okay. Okay. So this is actually pretty big. So we found out that he likely has a day job with flour. So that would be Tartanowski's bakery. And that is going to be... Oh. That was my mouse. Sorry. Yeah. It's technical difficulties here. All right, we're good. All right. Tartanowski's bakery. That's at M46. And guess what, folks? We're going to go straight there. I'm going to chase this dude. Let me make sure that there's nothing else that I need here. Nope. Cool. So, M46. Oh, and it's right here. All right. The Tartanowski's bakery is closed for refurbishments, but you can hear raised voices through a first-floor window. You duck under the canopy and decide to eavesdrop on the conversation between two men. Ooh, excuse me. One of them appears to be very angry, yelling about the missing piece. The other voice is reassuring, but definitely submissive. You consider calling the police immediately, but decide instead to see if you can find anything more incriminating. Pushing 2 loose boards aside, you enter the bakery. The voices are louder here, the angry man shouting about the missing the opportunity to bring Carcosa to Earth if the incantation is lost. He rants about a mistake made at the theater last night that appears to have enraged him. Suddenly, the voices above you are silent, and you hear footsteps coming down the stairs into the room where you stand. The adrenaline surging in your veins, you throw yourself down behind a wooden workbench. Your luck holds, and the footsteps reach your room and move off elsewhere. Cautiously, you peep out of your hiding place. You realize you've been holding your breath for what seems like minutes, and you let it out with a long sigh. If you have requirement card 4, proceed to supplemental encounters, page 56, and read entry 4. I do have requirement card 4, good sir. And now we will do this. All right. And read entry 4. Haha. You spot some flour spilled around the cellar door and footprints leading downwards. Recalling the information about the shaven-headed man whose clothes are often dusted with flour, you decide to investigate. The cellar proves to be warm, dry, and airy. Around the room are dozens of sacks of flour, and more loose white powder covers the floor where it has been spilled. More interestingly, there are several stools around a low table in the center of the room. On the table, you can see a flyer for last night's performance of The King's Cometh, and on it is the phrase, "First, hear us as expectant, we raise our faces to smell the air for hatred. We strain our ears for the sound of love." Okay, so it is an incantation, and we have now found the first entry of the incantation. A shudder runs down your spine as you read the words. The names of the actors are also listed on the playbill. Playing Casilda is Evie Klasnick, playing the stranger is Thomas Fincher, playing Casilda's son is Silas Barnes, and finally playing a town patrician is Michael Gorski. Also in a different hand on the table, amongst some other papers, is a list of names, which I already got that from the other guy. There's also a door at the far end of the room with a peculiar locking mechanism on it. There are 6 tumblers each with 5 letters on it. The first tumbler has FWGH and N engraved on it. Ugh. The second has PAXTC, the third has JMORS, the fourth has CEFTI, the fifth has GRCCU, finally the last tumbler has IRLVU. The tumblers can rotate to spell a word. If you can think of a 6-letter word using the letters on the tumblers, which also connected to the cult's ritual incantation lines, no card required, proceed further down this requirement section, read entry number 8, otherwise you'll need to return later if you want to access this door. Okay, so let's try and figure out this, right? So, first off, let's add the rest of this incantation here. So, we have first, hear us as expectant. We raise our faces to smell the air. For hatred. Ooh, that's not very nice. We strain our ears for the sound of love. Okay, so we wrote that down. I don't think the name of the actors are relevant because they're all in the speakeasy and they're about to get arrested. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm running out of time. So let's try and figure out this code here. So the first tumbler, FWGHN. The second tumbler has PAXTC. The third tumbler has JMORS. Next one has CEFTI. And the last one has GRCCU. It's not the last one, I lied. And IRLVU. Okay, so we have to figure out a 6-letter word that pertains to the cult's ritual incantation. Oh, that's easy. It's Haster, because that's all that the thing. Because you can, so you have H, you have A, you have S, you have T, you have U, and you have R. It's also connected. That's the, yeah, like, it's funny that they leave this up to your interpretation, but they literally have referenced Haster like 4 times, and you can spell it here. So I'm going to assume that that is correct, and we're going to do it. And I'm going to say that I accessed that door. Entry number 8. You feel fairly confident that the police know you are here should you get into trouble. So you begin to gently click the tumblers into place, spelling out a word. If the word you've chosen is Haster, then continue reading. If not, the lock refuses to budge and the tumblers become frozen in place. Stop reading here and go back there, and you're blocked from the reading it. I did guess it correctly. Haha. So, as the final tumbler rotates to the letter R, you hear a soft click, and trying the door handle, find that it turns freely, allowing you to access to the room behind. With sweaty palms, you inch the door ajar and peek inside. At last, you have stumbled upon the cult's inner sanctum. The room beyond the door is dimly lit, with dozens of candles dripping wax onto their stands. The walls are hung with dirty and patched yellow cloth, and sitting with his back to you is a massive man. He is stripped to the waist, and his body is anointed with angry welts where he has been indulging in self-flagellation. Horrifically, he wears a pale mask that is completely blank, and not even eye holes interrupt its smoothness. He does not stir as you push the door open. He appears to be in deep meditation. On the floor are 5 scraps of paper containing the incomplete cantation. You look up, and the sight at the end of the room sends you recoiling in horror, sprinting back into the cleansing Arkham rain. The sight will haunt your dreams until the day you pass from this world. You shudder as you recall. The shaven-headed man in his appalling blank mask seated facing a wooden throne. He was clad in shreds and patches, mere wisps of imagination, and he was speaking, with a consumptive, ragged, tearing hiss. Speaking with his servant, the shaven-headed murderer, speaking of doomed Carcosa. Appalling blank mask. Let's see there. Okay. So I'm going over this again. You look up, and the sight at the end of the room. The shaven-headed man in his palm blank mask seated facing a wooden throne. So the guy is facing a wooden throne. He was clad in shreds and patches, mere wisps of imagination, and he was speaking with a consumptive, ragged, tearing hiss. Speaking with his servant, the shaven-headed murderer, speaking of doomed Carcosa. Okay, so... doomed Carcosa. Let's see here. Clad in... I feel like they're going to ask me some stupid question about this. Shreds and patches. Mere wisps of imagination. Sounds like Willy Wonka. Alright, imagination. Speaking of Jimmy Carcosa. Okay. I really don't know how to... Okay, so... I don't know what to take out of that. Like, it's a lot of information, but I don't know... Like, it's obviously important information, but I don't know what to write down. It didn't give us any leads. We just saw some dude in a throne speaking in a ragged hiss, talking about Carcosa. question is, what is Carcosa? That's the thing that I still haven't answered yet. Okay. Now the question is, do I think I've gotten all of the answers that I need here? I have the list of everybody here. I have the name of the leader. I have the name of who they're trying to summon. I know that's an incantation. I know what he's there. Sixth first. Now, let's see. How many of these did he say he had around him? Five scraps of paper. So, I only have 4 written down here. First, third, fourth, sixth, which means the second or the fifth. So if that's the case, we have found the incantations with the victims who were in the front row, so I'm guessing that the rest of the incantations should be found with maybe some people over here. I don't know what else to follow at this point, really. I guess I'm just going to try and... I think I'm going to try and just go... I'm just going to go talk to some of the other people that were in the front row and see if I can get anything from them. Yeah, let's go to N65. All right. You are met at the doorstep by a teenage boy with an unruly mop of blonde, curly hair. You ask if you might speak to Edward Fisk, and the youth's face turns ashen. He invites you inside, calling for his mother. Mr. Fisk receives you graciously, but it's clear that she's very worried. Edward's not here, I'm afraid. We had to take a rather drastic step last night and commit him to the care of Arkham Sanitarium. When you tactfully ask why, she replies, "My son Edward can be a little wayward at times. Partying with his friends till all hours, neglecting his work, spending money like it was going out of fashion. But boys will be boys, I suppose. Last night he went to a show with those friends of his, and when he came back there was something very wrong with him. He was withdrawn, he kept babbling and sweating, and then he attacked his younger brother. We had to drag Edward off poor Matthew. My husband called the doctor, and he recommended convalescence in the sanitarium. I hated having to do that, but I felt better after I had a chat with the nurse. What was his name? Curtis, I think? Yes. Leon Curtis. He made us feel like we had done the right thing for our son." Okay, so... Fisk is going to go to Leon Curtis, as well as the sanitarium. Let's see if the sanitarium is anywhere on here. There it is. Yep, D1. Okay, so... And then... Leon Curtis. Does he have a place here? He does. L53. I say... I mean, let's just keep following this, I guess. Let's go to the sanatorium. Let's go to D1. During a downpour isn't the best time to visit the sanitarium. The staff are irritable and the patients unsettled by being cooped up. You speak to an orderly inquiring about Edward Fisk's arrival. You're told that the man is sleeping peacefully after being sedated. He was treated and given an initial assessment by one of the senior nursing staff, Leon Curtis. Nurse Curtis and Edward spoke for around an hour during the night, and it was felt that a week or so of convalescence should be sufficient to restore Mr. Fisk. When you push for more information, the orderly impatiently folds her arms. You'll have to speak to Leon when he comes back on shift. He was going for some food and a coffee before visiting the shops on Main and Church Streets. He won't be back until later tonight when he starts his shift again. As you turn to leave, a janitor catches your sleeve. If you want to get off on the right foot with Leon, then you should buy him a double espresso with cream. He gets powerfully cranky when it's raining. He winks as you thank him for the advice. Take requirement card 2. Okay, so I have gotten a requirement card. Alright, let's just go talk to Leon. I mean, I have a requirement card. So, Leon was at L53. I mean, I don't know what else I can really do here. I'm just going to follow this lead. You ascend the stairs to Leon Curtis's apartment and knock at his door. After several minutes, you inquire with a building supervisor who is fixing an electrical light switch. Leon? He'll be at work at this hour at the sanitarium. Either that or he likes the cafe on Main Street, or is it Church Street? Oh, man. They told me that. Well, that was a whiff. I've only got 2 more places to go. So, Church Street or whatever street. Church Street. So, Main Street, Church Street. Cafes. Let's go to cafes here. So we have Bell Cafe at M42, which is going to be right here, which is on Church Street. And then we have Zaslet Highway Cafe, which is at... So, looking for the M's. We have Bell Cafe, which is... So, that's M42, Church Street. M44 is a cafeteria. Yeah, it's got to be Bell Cafe. So, let's go to M42 and talk to that guy. Alright, M42. Wait. Is that correct? Hold on. Yeah, that's correct. You open the door to the cafe just as Pascal Fenton walks out. He seems to be in a hurry and tells you to stop by his home if you want to chat. Inside the empty cafe, a dour woman is picking her nails at the counter. You ask if she knows a customer by the name of Leon Curtis. He's not someone I know, hun. She drawls, and you depart. Oh, my goodness. Well, this is becoming a goose chase, so... Well, I've only got 1 more place to go, so I guess... I guess let's just go look at N51. Just not a particular reason. It's another one of the victims, but I kind of just Her name's Penelope. I've always liked that name, so that's what we're going to do. You rap on the door to no avail. No one comes to answer. You check the time and realize that it's likely Miss Larry is at work. Okay, well, cool. So we just whiffed like three times in a row. Wow. Okay, so that's a grand total of 5 wasted time slots on this one. So, great. And that is the last of my time here. So, now I just have to answer the questions, and I feel like, yeah, losing 5 time slots is pretty bad. All right, so let's answer these questions. One, what happened at the theater? A ritual. I'm just going to say to summon Haster. That's the only thing that I gathered here. 2. What was the name of the shaven-headed murderer? Oh, that was easy. Fincher. 3. What were the names of the other cultists? Oh my god, I didn't write them down. I knew I should have written them down. Oh my goodness. Yep. That's why you write down everything. I'm just going to take pictures of these pages from now on. This is ridiculous. What were the names of the 6 people the cult hunted? Oh, I know this one. Fisk, Osgood. Rich, Reed. Larry, Danforth. What are the 6 lines of the Summon Carcosa incantation? Recite as many as you are able. I can recite 4 of them. I was trying to find the rest. Why did Abby Osgood miss the play? I don't know. I didn't get a chance to talk to her. How did construction worker Eddie Rollins get injured, and which part of the body did he hurt? Oh, I have no idea. Never even got that far. Who are the Randallsons? They are a gang in Kingsport Head. What is the Randallsons' connection to Nocturne, the dream narcotic? They deal it to the Silver Twilight Lodge, or they're just dealers, whatever. Why has Miskatonic University Geological Expedition been delayed? I've got no idea. Yeah, 4 of those. One of those I should have had because I should have written down the names of the people. All right, let's get this terrible score over with. What happened in the theater? The Cult of Haster performed a contact spell during 3rd act to gain spell summon Carcosa. Something went wrong. The spell fragmented the front row of the audience. Wow. Yeah, I'll say I missed that one. What was the name of the shaven-head murderer? Thomas Fincher. I got that one, so we'll say that's 2 points. What are the names of the other cultists? I should have known that, but I didn't, so that's annoying. Other people, yes, I got all of them, so that's 6 points here. So that's a pretty big swing. What are the 6 lines of the Summon Carcosa incantation? 1 point for each you discovered, with an additional 1 point for using 6 lines to open the bakery combination lock. 7 points possible. So I got 4. And there's that. So that's a total of 5. Got 5 points from that. Okay, not bad, not bad. Why did she miss the play? I didn't know that one. I didn't know that one. So let's just go to question number 8. Who are the Randallsons? A Kingsport-based smuggling crime family. Said that they were a gang. We'll take it. What is the Randallsons' connection? Nocturne. They're smuggling into Arkham at the behest of Carl Sanford. I said that they're dealing it to Carl Sanford. So I'll go ahead and I will say that I'll get that one because it's really close. Why has Miskatonic University Dog been whatever? It's been threatened by the... Okay, yeah. And then I didn't know that one. Apparently they were threatened by the Randallson gang. All right. At 1 point for every location you tracked beyond 15. So let's see. I went to the full 21, so... But 2 of them don't count because they were missed. So... That would have been, so there's 6, so I'm going to lose 4 points. So let's see, so that's 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 minus 4. So what's going to be 13 points. If you read the copy of King in Yellow at the Harding House, deduct 1 point from your score. The debilitating effect. No, I did not do that. It's in the library, deduct 1 point. I did not. Nice. Okay, cool. So if I had at least 13 points, then I won, which I did. I had exactly 13, so this actually counts as a win. Wow. Okay, I did better than I thought I did. All right. I should really have some extra points there. All right, so here's the solution from Mr. Henry Armitage, how he did it, because he's so perfect. As you enter, Henry grips you firmly by the elbow and steers you back through the door. You won't want to miss this, he says cryptically as he leads you through the campus and then north into the Merchant District. He points across the intersection where a police paddy wagon is parked with its rear doors open. Several officers are pulling a large, heavily muscled, shaven-headed man out of the Tartanowski's bakery, which has been closed for refurbishment. The fight appears to have gone out of him, but nearby officers who are nursing injuries prove that he didn't exactly come quietly. Come on, I think you've earned a meal and a sit-down while we discuss the case. It was a close run thing, but I'm afraid the cult of Hastur will be disappointed. Carcosa, for the time being, is held at bay. The old librarian hails a cab and secures you a table together at the elegant University Spa restaurant. As you're eating your entree, Armitage lays the case out before you. I was right, then, about the deaths, and there was no coincidence there. That fiend we have just seen locked up was involved in each of them directly or indirectly. He always seemed to be one step ahead, leaving chaos in his wake. He tortured and killed poor Francis Long and chased Julian Stratton to his death. But it was the play that was the root of all the misfortune that has occurred. Anaus, Sperlich, and Coulton proved helpful in determining just what they were after. A spell to bring Carcosa to Earth and doom the town to the wrath of Hastur, the tattered king. Something went wrong with their contact ritual, and the spell, as I suspected, was implanted in the minds of those occupying the front row. I had suspected the theater clerk Samuel Averill might be in league with them. That wasn't until I met him, and he furnished me with a list of patrons from the performance. I tracked each of the parts of the incantation down. Carolyn Merrill's and Anthony Jackson's fragile minds had snapped with the power of the verse, and they took their own lives. Fisk's family, luckily for him, offered him to the care of the sanitarium, and there Leon Curtis learned his powerful words. I had to visit the homes of Long and Reed's sister to fit the other pieces together. Finally, the bond trader, Stratton, had written it on a paper sticking out of his pocket, along with his will. I tracked the actors to the speakeasy after inquiring about them at the Manley Theater, and then to the bakery. The leader of the troupe, our shaven-headed friend Thomas Fincher, was holed up planning his next move, and he came very close to recovering the parts he needed. The old librarian, a twinkle in his eye, raises a glass to a job well done. So he did 15 locations. So he went to go see Fenton, and then he went to the library. So if I would have gone to see Pascal Fenton, then I would have gotten the card I needed to get to the access to the book in the reading room. Then he went to the Manley Theater. Then he went to all these other places, blah, 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 blah. So the moral of the story is, if I would have remembered that Manly was the theater, then I could have gone to the theater and I could have gotten on the track sooner, because the first, yeah, I whiffed a total of 5 times, but chasing down, whatever that guy's name was, the guard from Leon Curtis, I missed like 3 times trying to find that guy. So really, if I had gone sooner, and I would have gone, so like, if I would have gone to the home of Long, I would have found some things there. If I would have gone and, if I would have tried to track down everyone on that list, I would have had some things, but, I mean, I passed. I had exactly what I needed to score, so we did it. I will take the win. And yeah, and that is the end of the 3rd case in Mythos Tales. So not bad at all. Doing better. Like I said, the hard part about this game is they give you so much information, and you just have to try and figure out like which information is important. Because like I missed some questions because I was like, I didn't realize the name of the occultist was going to be like a question I had to answer, right? So that's the thing, is it's just tough balance. That's why, like I said, you want to take as many notes as humanly possible, just more, and that's going to be your best friend. So yeah, that is another case down in Mythos Tales. So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. I know that I sure did. I love this game. I will likely be back playing another scenario from this. I think right now I'm just going to do one a week until I play through all of them. And then, yeah, and then that'll be that. So that was case number 3. I still have 5 more I can play. And then just keep an eye on our social media. We'll post the schedules for what we're doing. Yeah, so that's the end of today's stream. Let me go ahead and put, is it this one? Yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. So as I always do on these sign-offs, I'm going to go ahead and go over some information just real fast before I get off here. So that link I just put there at the top of the screen, teespring.com/store/grayfoxgames, that is our brand new merch store that we launched. You can go there, and if you've ever wanted any really cool, like, swag, as they call it, we have some t-shirts, hoodies, stickers. You can get those from there. Right now we have merch for Champions of Midgard, Bushido, and Deception, and we're making more pieces and uploading it there as regularly as we can. So eventually we'll have a very wide selection, and basically you should be able to get merchandise for basically any of our games that you really, really love. So just keep an eye on that. But you can go over there, check out what we have now, order whatever you'd like, and we're updating it as often as possible. If you liked Mythos Tales, you don't own a copy of it, you can go to our website, grayfoxgames.com. You can find it on there, and you can order it from the website, and we will ship it directly to you, and then you can play this game at home by yourself, or with your loved ones that you're quarantined with, or however you'd like to do it. So you can get that from there. And then also, while you're on the website, you can subscribe to our newsletter, and the newsletter will keep you up to date with everything that we do here at Gray Fox. We give you the first updates as far as production and printing on the games we have coming out later. Like this year, we have some very large games coming out. We have Tsukiyumi Full Moon Down, which is going to be huge. We have After the Empire, which is going to be huge. And we have Tortuga 2199 that we did. So you'll be the first one to get updates on that. We also give away free games. You'll be the first one to know if we have any discount codes or what Kickstarters are running. So really, it's the best way just to stay up to speed with everything that we do here. So yeah, that's it. Check it out. Check out the website, check out the merch store, get some stuff, hang out. So that's going to do it for me today. Per this streaming schedule, I'll be back on Friday, same time, 3 p.m. Central, and we will be playing a game on Tabletop Simulator, and I have a special guest that I will be playing with, and I will announce that the day of, so let everybody know, or the day before, we'll find out. So it's a surprise game, surprise guest, and yeah, we're going to do it too. We're going to have a lot of fun. So thank you so much for joining me. Hope everyone's staying safe, and I will see you on